Welcome back, my friends, to the Lo-Fi Lounge. I'm Chris LeRoy. We got film, we got music, we got interviews, and it all starts right now. Everything that rises must come first. The sun comes up on this wicked world, and everything that matters fades away. You're constant as the star until the break of day. Everything that rises must come first, and everything is flowers from the first. It's cherry wine and Italian verse, and just because the lives are filled with sorrow doesn't mean we won't be sad tomorrow. But everything that rises whispered word, carried on the wings of a mockingbird. Everything that rises must converge. Just because our lives are filled with sorrow doesn't mean we have to be sad tomorrow. And everything that rises must converge. Yeah, I dreamed I caught a mockingbird. I dreamed I caught a mockingbird. I dreamed I caught a mockingbird. I dreamed I caught a mockingbird.
Kevin Day, take it away.
All right. Well, how you doing, Chris? Glad to be here with you. Yeah, we had an interesting meeting with Toots and The Maytells. It's funny how we got the gig, too. We had sent a cassette tape. That's how long ago it was. Well, an intern at Toad's Place, which is a legendary club in New Haven, Connecticut. Everybody's played there. In fact, Bob Dylan's played there. The Stones, you name it. I've seen Cracker and Camper Van Beethoven there. So there was an intern had heard our tape, and this one song that we had been playing since the 80s, my friend Mike Tweedy and I wrote. It was kind of quasi-reggae, and so she called me up and asked me if we wanted to open up for Toots and The Maytells. And of course I said, of course, he's a legend, who wouldn't want it? And because she said, well, you guys are reggae, right? And I said, absolutely. So,
Right.
So the funny thing was, what we did was we started practicing all of our songs and changed the beat to play the reggae. And so what happened was that we opened up for them 1 year. That was in 1998, and actually it was about 6 months later we opened up for them again. And we're sitting at a table. And the Maytells were doing their sound check, and we're sitting there, and someone walked up behind us, and we kind of felt their presence, and we turned around, and it was Toots Hibbert. He's the godfather of reggae. He's the one that coined the phrase reggae music for regular people. I know people think reggae, they think Bob Marley, who is, of course, also, an amazing legend himself. But so we were all nervous. We got up. We're like, oh, Toots, oh, how are you? He goes, he said, Gigglejuice. And I remember you from last year. And he made a fist. He touched his heart. And he said, respect. And he gave us a fist bump. And I'll tell you, we were beside ourselves. We were like, oh my God, Toots remembers us. This is it's 22 years ago. This is a long time ago. And we had one of the greatest shows at Toad's Place. I know some of my fellow crumbs have been to Toad's Place in New Haven, like Jim and Sandra Hostetler. They're from Connecticut. They've been there. Julie Bradlow went to Yale. I know she's probably been to Toad's Place. It was quite an experience for us, And it was, like I said, it was amazing because we're not really a reggae band, We're just like, it was one of those things. And I said, oh, of course we're reggae.
That's rock and roll.
Snow is hanging heavy on the pine trees. Mountains cut a thin line on the rise. Smoke is rising slow through an empty hole in the sky. Tell me anything you want me to. You can tell me anything that's true. You can tell me anything you want me to. In the meanwhile, I'll be true to you.
Funny how the colors tell the story. Funny how the scenery makes us shine. Be careful what you do. Clouds come rolling through in time.
Tell me anything you want me to. You can tell me anything that's true. You can tell me anything you want me to. In the meanwhile, I'll be true to you. In the meanwhile, I'll be true to you. Seems the northern wind is taking over, blowing songs around the countryside. You know I love you so. Careful where you go to hide. You can tell me anything you want to. You can tell me anything that's true. You can tell me anything you want me to. In the meanwhile, I'll be true. You can tell me anything you want me to. You can tell me anything that's true. You can tell me anything you want me to. In the meanwhile, I'll be true to you. In the meanwhile, I'll be true. Snow is hanging heavy on the pine trees.
In Part 2, Colton's Jim Messina had just been asked to join Buffalo Springfield in its waning days. Despite his short time in the band, Messina managed to become a part of a rock and roll tradition, the drug bust. In late March 1968, Messina and the rest of Buffalo Springfield attended a house jam session in Topanga Canyon. Also attending the get-together was Eric Clapton, then a member of the band Cream. According to an attendee, they were partying. The Marshall amps were stacked. Clapton and Stephen were playing so loud, the mountains were ringing. One of the neighbors didn't think it was so cool. Neighbors called the police, and they arrived to break up the party. In addition to loud music, the officers found 6 ounces of marijuana. Eric Clapton and Buffalo Springfield members Neil Young, Jim Messina, and Richie Furay were arrested. The other Springfield members, Stephen Stills and Dewey Martin, escaped the bust by leaving before the police arrived. All the jailed musicians were only found guilty of disturbing the peace. On May 5th, Buffalo Springfield played its farewell concert in Long Beach and were no more. Summer 1968, Jim Messina and Richie Furay formed a country rock group. They named it Pogo after the comic strip, at least until cartoonist Walt Kelly objected and threatened to sue. The name of the band was changed to Poco. Poco did the usual runs of LA nightclubs, showcases, and was eventually signed to Epic Records, where Richie Furay already had a solo contract. Jim Messina appeared on and produced Poco's first 3 albums. Between the second and third albums, Messina informed Furay that he was leaving the group. Musical differences between the two was the given reason. Messina returned to his roots of studio engineering and production. He signed a contract with Columbia Records as an independent producer. His first assignment was to work with a young singer by the name of Kenny Loggins. Messina rehearsed with Loggins, recorded demos, and assembled a band for him. When Messina thought Loggins was ready, production began on his debut album for Columbia Records. It was decided that Messina should attach his name to the project so there would be some name recognition from those already familiar with Messina's past work. The album was titled Kenny Loggins with Jim Messina Sittin' In. This teaming was only to last for 1 album, just long enough to give a boost to Loggins' career. The album, when released in November 1971, was so successful that the pair decided to continue the partnership, calling themselves Loggins and Messina. Loggins and Messina made their Inland Empire debut on May 14, 1972, at the UC Riverside Gym. A pre-concert article by Henry Mendoza appeared in the May 11, 1972 San Bernardino Sun newspaper. It reported that this was Messina's homecoming to the IE. Mendoza, like Messina, was a graduate of Colton High School. In July 1972, Loggins and Messina appeared on Dick Clark's American Bandstand TV program. On December 14, 1973, the duo recorded a segment for the Midnight Special TV series. 2 days later, on December 16th, Loggins and Messina appeared at the Swing Auditorium in San Bernardino. In 1975, a ghost from Jim Messina's past resurfaced. Thimble Records acquired the rights to The Dragster by the Jesters and re-released it, hoping to capitalize on the popularity of Loggins and Messina. The pair eventually released 6 studio LPs in the 1970s. 3 earned platinum records and 2 earned gold records. Also released in the 1970s were 2 live albums and 1 best-of album. In 1976, the pair announced that they were calling it quits to pursue solo careers. Reportedly, Loggins had grown weary of what he perceived to be his student-teacher relationship with Messina. In the 1970s and the early 1980s, Jim Messina released 3 solo LPs. In the late 1980s, Messina and the original members of Poco regrouped and recorded a new release called Legacy. The album earned Poco only its 2nd gold album of its career. They then embarked on a reunion tour. After the tour, the band and Messina again went their separate ways. Over the years, Messina and Poco have occasionally regrouped, including a well-received 2009 set at the Stagecoach Festival in Coachella. Meanwhile, almost 3 decades after their breakup, Loggins and Messina decided to team up again in 2004 for a reunion tour. In 2005, a DVD and CD were released to commemorate the tour. The duo also toured in 2009. Messina has kept a connection with his Inland Empire past. He's seen here with former jester and fellow motorcycle enthusiast Ron House. In 1985, Messina and House attended the Colton High School class of 1965 20th reunion at the Rancho Verde Club in Rialto. Today, Jim Messina is based in Santa Barbara and is still touring as a solo act, performing songs from his days in Buffalo Springfield, Poco, Loggins and Messina, and his solo days.
I'd like to introduce you to the newest Danger, Kimberly. She's going to be singing a couple songs with us here. She's singing them all, but she made me look bad. lucky thoughts that linger. Yeah. I'm lucky as I leave. Times I spend my mind today. Start.